Stopping you from living the life that you truly desire is not the people around you. It's not the naysayers, the haters, the belittlers. It's not the individuals who do not believe in your dreams, but instead it is your desire for those individuals' approval. Let me run that back. The reason why you are not currently experiencing the life that you want, doing the things you want to do, having the things you want to have, being the type of person you want to be, has nothing to do with what the other people, those quote unquote haters, are doing, saying, thinking, feeling about you, right? It doesn't matter if those people are at your door every single day, knock, knock, knocking, knock, knock, knocking, or calling to let you know that you can't do whatever it is that you desire to do in this life. It has nothing to do with that and everything to do with the fact that you still think you need those people's approval in order to do what you want with your life. Let me explain. When I first realized that I had, let's say, this gifting for music, this gifting for content creation, just creation overall, right? The written and the spoken word, I had a belief system that I was not deserving or worthy to be this person that you now see, right? And with that belief system, I was continuously looking for other people to approve of me, to validate me, to give me permission to do what I wanted to do. And when I did not get that, I felt as if, well, obviously, I can't do it. If nobody else sees it in me, then surely enough, it's not there. I was continuously waiting for somebody to check off on my own vision, on my own gifting, my own talents, and my own purpose in this life. And many of us are living in that way. We're waiting for somebody outside of ourselves because we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that the opinions of others are to be held in higher regard than our own opinions. That's just the straight facts, right? I don't know what household you grew up in. I don't know what the messaging was, right? Most of it was probably subconscious, right? Not everybody's parents is psychopath, sociopath, or looking to destroy you in some way, but they do so subconsciously and subliminally because they have their own insecurities. They themselves are not going after what they want to go after. So they start to project themselves onto us. And then we start to develop those mentalities, those belief systems, those ideologies that stop us from actually delving into the things we want to do. And it's not because these things are hard to do, right? It's not difficult for a person who's created or has a gifting, to articulate a message, to be a YouTuber or content creator. It's not difficult for a songwriter to write a song. It's actually the easiest thing you can do, right? That's why it's your gifting. It's the thing that comes easiest to you. The thing that is the most difficult is getting out of your own way. And what is usually in our own way is us waiting for something or someone to say something, right? To validate us in some way, to tell us that it's okay to do the things we want to do. And I'll be honest with you, I do that for the people I love, right? I speak life into their gifting. I speak life into their talent, just like you right now. Out of a place of love, I want to see you live your greatest life. I want to see you go after those internal desires, those aspirations that you have within this life. I want you to fulfill the vision that's been given unto you. However, you don't need my approval to do so. You don't need me. You don't need anybody else to let you know that it's okay to do the things that you want to do, no matter how crazy they may seem. Now, of course, I'm talking about things that are going to edify your life and the life of others, right? I'm not talking about go out there and, do all kind of scams and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Nobody is born with the purpose of scamming. Nobody's born with the purpose of robbing. Nobody's born with the purpose of deleting people. That's never going to be somebody's purpose, right? Your purpose is always going to be aligned with something that's going to benefit you and those around you. It's going to fulfill you and those around you. It might not be for everybody, but it is for somebody, right? Again, this message right here is going to be for a lot of people. First of all, it's for me. It's a reminder for me. Every single time I'm speaking, I'm also speaking to me. However, it's also going to penetrate the soul of somebody out there who needs this message right now. But it's also not going to be for the person who is a distractor or a detractor, the individual who, simply cannot see the value within this message, at least at this very moment in time. Maybe they will someday down the line. It's just like when you're a music artist. There are people who are Taylor Swift fans now that weren't Taylor Swift fans before, and maybe were haters of Taylor Swift. They saw her as a nuisance. They saw her as somebody who couldn't really write or couldn't really sing, or, I'm not really into that music. Now they're the biggest Swifties in the world. They could not see the value until later. But if Taylor was to wait and wait and wait and hope that one day maybe they just would see who she was and would finally believe in her, If she had that type of mentality, she would never become the person that she is right now. Instead, she continued to go along. She continued to do her thing, to write the music, to perform the music, whether it was in a coffee shop on the side of a street. And now we see it, on Main Street, on the main line, on the main stage at the Super Bowls of the world, right? So that's the mentality that we have to start indoctrinating ourselves with. We have to reprogram and recondition ourselves for the success that we desire in this life. And that looks different for everybody. Not everybody's version of success should look the same. We've also been conditioned to believe that success should look the same for every one of us, right? Not every single one of us wants the penthouse. Like I used to think for me, man, the penthouse suite loft, blah, blah, like that was my dream residency. But now I realize, man, I want to be on a ranch. I want a beautiful home, right? That, my extremely talented girl, she will build out and decorate and put together in a way that's just going to blow my mind every time I walk in. But as for me, I like that smaller town living. I like, I want horses outside. Like I want nature outside. I want the lake running through the property. For me, that's a dream home situation. So in the same way, your gifting, your talents, they may seem like a distraction to somebody else because they don't value what you value. But it doesn't matter. You don't need somebody else to evaluate or to put an appraisal on your gifting. You don't need to go out there and say, is this needed in the marketplace? You are always going to be quote unquote needed in the marketplace because you are a unique individual who has been given a gift that is uniquely yours and that you can bring out to the world. Only you. Nobody else can do what you do the way that you do it. I don't care if there's 100 million musicians that have been placed on this planet. Every single one of them are going to bring something different, and every single one of them are called to be something different. They may use the same vehicle, the same mechanism, but it's entirely different. And the experience that we're going to get from each of those individuals is going to be different. And sometimes we look to conform so much because we think one thing is going to work over the other. So we start to become inauthentic. And we see this in music industry and, in entertainment is very obvious because it's right in front of us, but it's also happening in the entrepreneur spaces. It's happening in, the world of technology, in the world of medicine, etc., where you find that people are doing the exact same thing as opposed to discovering what is within themselves. What is the thing that they are here to bring that does not exist yet, that has not been brought to life, has not been brought to consciousness? And that's the place that we have to start aligning ourselves with. We have to allow ourselves to continuously discover who we are. And the only way that can happen is by letting go of the opinions of others. We must let go of people's approval. We must let go of the need for people's approval. We have to live our own lives unapologetically. And, I made a video recently talking about, this incessant need to explain ourselves. You're not here to explain your life to the people around you, why you're living the way you do and why you're doing the things that you're doing as opposed to other things. People have you fooled out here thinking, man, maybe I made a mistake by actually pursuing my dream as opposed to, taking on that traditional status quo course, which they will call, risk adverse. They would call realistic. They would call pragmatic. They will call that thing practical. Meanwhile, your gifting, your talent, the thing you're actually here for, the vision that's been placed upon you and that path that's been given to you uniquely, they will see that as risky. They will see that as childish, as naive, etc., because they're projecting their own insecurities onto you. They can't help but do so. And again, it's not, most of the time, it's really not malicious. It's not an intentional thing. It's not people trying to, get you off your path on purpose. They just see what's in you and they see how you're moving when you start to move in alignment with your own path. And it triggers something in them, right? It triggers a part of them that is not doing the exact same within their own lives. And sometimes this can be with the people we love the most, the people whose approval that we needed so deeply, that we yearn for year after year, decade after decade, right? The people that we call family, the people that we call parents, the people that we call siblings, etc. These family structures, we were always looking for them to see us in a certain light, to see us for who we truly were. But the more we were looking for them to see us in a certain way, the more we neglected seeing ourselves in that way, the more we ignored ourselves, right? The more I focus outwardly, the less I give inwardly. So if I'm seeking to get my quote unquote emotional needs met from the outside, what I'm doing is actually neglecting them from within because I'm the only one who can. There's nobody else out there who can do it for me. Not a single individual. I don't care who they are, how special they are, how incredible they are, how much of a motivator and inspiration they are in your life. At the end of the day, it's only going to be you and you. It's only you and your own mind, you and your own emotional state, you and your own physical actions that are going to lead you to the results that you desire in this life. So the reason you do not yet have the things you desire is because you care more about people's approval than you do about the thing that you want to do in this life, the person you want to be, and the things that you want to have within this life experience. And as soon as you let that go, your entire life would change. So that being said, my guilt-free plug of my first published book, Doing Me Guilt-Free, Breaking Free from People Pleasing and Unleashing Your Personal Power. I believe this is a lifetime handbook. This is a book that will live with you every day of your life for the rest of your life. In the reminder that you are here to live, not from a place of seeking approval, people pleasing, and validation, but instead from a place of true personal power, where you're walking in alignment, step by step in your own power, period. So appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Much love. Namaste and namasko.